sign up on the Now, a first-of-its-kind program is working to fight people being radicalized in the U.S. How it's trying to give them a different path with shorter prison sentences. And we're talking about websites and all the tricks they have to try and get you to spend more. We're exposing these so you don't fall for them while shopping this holiday season. And we're also giving you a behind-the-scenes look at the people who come up with the ideas for the more than 1 billion greeting cards we'll be sending over the next few weeks.
Thank you, Annie. We are following some breaking news on the city's northeast side. A crash and vehicle fire has the left 3 lanes of I-465 at 56th Street blocked. This could be an issue for about another 45 minutes. And phone scams have gone out of control in the past few years, with callers demanding money, often claiming they have a warrant for your arrest. But now there's an even more frightening phone scam as we head into the new year. Consumer reporter John Matarese explains, so you don't waste your money.
You might have heard of the IRS scam or the Social Security scam, where someone calls you demanding money. But there's another phone scam that's far more terrifying these days because the caller claims they've kidnapped your child. Home Inspector Jim Kidd answered his phone while on the job the other day. It was a call that would make any parent frantic.
I heard that sounded like my daughter in distress, and she called me daddy like she does when she's upset about something, and it was very convincing.
A man then said he had kidnapped Jim's 27-year-old daughter.
He said, I just want you to know that we have your daughter, and I need you to not hang up. If you hang up, I will kill her.
You don't question it at that point.
I just wanted her home and safe. That was it.
The caller was very clear. He said, get to the bank and then wire me $1,000 and I won't harm your daughter. Jim luckily had enough wits about him to tell a coworker to call police and follow him as he went to get the money.
I wrote a note to my client. Daughter been kidnapped, call 911, have them follow me.
This hand-scrawled note led to a state police officer pulling up behind Jim, who told Jim to call his daughter, so he did.
I called and found out it was a big hoax.
It's called the virtual kidnapping scam. Like other phone scams, it's bilking parents for thousands of dollars when their son or daughter is really in no trouble at all. Jim's advice to other parents?
Get to another phone as quick as you can. Call them, call somebody, contact them.
Because he says it's the most terrifying scam he's ever encountered. If you get any kind of threatening phone call about a kidnapping or from the sheriff or IRS, don't do anything immediately. Just take 1 minute to contact another family member so you don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matarese for RTV6.
The city of Beech Grove is looking for a new police chief. Chief Mark Schwartz will retire on January 1st. Mayor Dennis Buckley announced Chief Schwartz's retirement today. Schwartz is a 37-year veteran of the department. He was appointed police chief on January 1st of 2012. And this announcement comes just days after IMPD Chief Brian Roach announced he will also be retiring at the end of the year. Roach has been chief since January of 2017. He has accepted a job outside of the police department and city government. Kevin.
Welcome to December. Brand new month. First full week of December. We put November, which was very cold, behind us. All indications are, at least as we tiptoe into this month of December, temperatures will be at or a little above average for the next 10 days or so. We'll bobble around a little bit. From South Bend down to just east then of or west of Warsaw, northeast of Peru, some very light flurries or snow showers off of Lake Michigan. We basically all 92 counties have a decent amount of cloud cover. That will be the goal, to break some of the cloud cover as we get later in the week. Excuse me, there's Meridian Street going straight north. All city lights starting to come up now as the sun sets. Our temperature just above freezing in Lafayette, 34 in Indianapolis, Greenwood at 34. That wind out of the northwest makes it feel colder. The wind will calm down a little bit. Stays cloudy this evening. That west wind around 10 miles per hour. The slow temperature drop because of the clouds. 10 o'clock tonight, 31 degrees.
A major security concern involving the text messages of hundreds of millions of people. True Dialogue, a company who stores millions of texts, reportedly left a database open for a period of time Sunday. Experts say the texts had information about a number of things, including usernames and passwords for websites, along with medical info. Well, text messages are among one of the top predicted ways criminals plan to carry out data breaches for 2020. And in its new data breach forecast, Experian says cyber criminals will target people who are part of various online communities. They send phishing texts to get you to contribute to a campaign you support.
and they expect, because you're part of this online tribe, to go ahead and automatically click on and sure, I'll give them an extra $10, when in fact you've just downloaded firmware on your phone to be.
Experian says it's best not to click on any links that you get texted to you. And another threat is mobile payments. That's when someone swipes your credit card through one of those payment card readers like Square or Stripe. Experian predicts cyber criminals will target those, especially at large events. They say never use a debit card with those systems. A credit card with a low limit is best, or even using cash. Also, ask if they have an actual payment terminal instead of the mobile swipe device. And while it's tempting for convenience, Experian says you should never use your phone to buy stuff online. Avoid using public Wi-Fi altogether, or at the very least, any Wi-Fi that isn't password protected. Experian says 80% of data breaches they've serviced were due to a mistake or someone doing something they shouldn't have been doing.
It only takes one mistake, like clicking on a link, not downloading the latest operating system on your phone, not having firmware on your phone that's up to date or on your PC.
Consider getting a VPN on your phone. That stands for Virtual Private Network. Well, gun rights in the U.S. could be expanded pending a decision from the Supreme Court. The justices are hearing a case over a decision to repeal a law that set restrictions on transporting guns. If the court upholds the repeal, it could lead to potential changes surrounding laws about carrying weapons in public. Well, back to our lineup. It can be easy to overspend during the holidays, and websites, they can add even more pressure. We're breaking down the other tricks you need to watch for this Cyber Monday.
Hi, Mindy heading level 2. Deals in toys and games heading level 2.
We have deals in toys and games.
Spotlight deals heading level 2.
It is shopping season, and Bosma Enterprises is making sure everyone can get in on the good deals for Cyber Monday. With special adaptations, the company uses technology to help those that are visually impaired to not only hear but feel words to be able to shop online.
There's somebody who's coping with vision loss, and especially if it's a sudden loss of vision, you still want to be able to manage your own daily lives, and this technology is really allowing us to be able to shop, whether it's on a Cyber Monday or whether it's grocery shopping, whether it's having things delivered using Amazon, whatever it may be. We're able to do that in a little more efficient way.
Bosma Enterprises is an Indianapolis nonprofit to help Hoosiers who are blind or visually impaired to find employment. In 2018, Bosma helped about 800 people adjust to vision loss, much of which was with workforce training, and placed people in 30 different companies around Indianapolis.
It's very tempting to buy more during the holidays with all the sales and deals just a few clicks away. But there are other sneakier tactics that could have you spending more. Princeton and University of Chicago researchers looked for what they call dark patterns. That's when you're steered or coerced into making purchases that you might not normally make. And they can be things like surprise fees once you go to checkout, or claims like an item is almost sold out, or it's high demand, or that a sale is for a limited time only. And you also want to watch out for those pop-up offers. And of the 11,000 online stores they looked at, there was at least one dark pattern instance on 11% of the most popular websites. There's a bill now in Congress to crack down on dark patterns. Well, a University of Denver associate marketing professor says there are other strategies to get you to spend more too.
If you're shopping for, let's say, a particular type of a kitchen appliance, providing you with information about all the other related items that are on sale is something that they're doing, and they'll push the sale promotions for those items as well. I've seen in the inboxes, if you're looking at something, they'll send you an email to remind you that you were looking at it and to entice you to come back, maybe by offering a slightly increased discount or an additional discount to return to the page to actually go through and make the purchase. There are also sales on top of sales. If you look into the cart, you'll see some of the deeper discounts than if you just are looking at the page itself. So it incentivizes you to put things into your cart.
Melissa Akaka says there's so much clutter when it comes to online shopping that quality customer service could likely win over consumers. Well, ahead in our lineup, more than 1 billion greeting cards will be sent over the next few weeks.
There's always some memory that can come up and help me to kind of guide me into what kind of composition and what I want to communicate.
We're giving you a behind-the-scenes look at the card-making process.
For only $89. For on time.
Checking in on the Now newsfeed, dictionary.com has chosen existential as its word of the year. It says climate change, gun violence, and even the character Forky from Toy Story led to a spike in searches for the word in 2019. A new type of apple is generating a lot of buzz nationwide. The Cosmic Crisp hit store shelves Sunday. It's grown only in Washington state, and it gets its name from the star-like dots on its skin. In the spirit of America, that is the theme of the Christmas decorations at the White House. The displays include iconic sights from across the country, including the Liberty Bell and the Space Needle. Well, this time of year, it's easy to overspend on gifts for friends and family, but sometimes it's the gift of a handwritten card that can be the best one of all. I visited the world's top greeting card makers to learn more about the art of the century-old gift.
I love the feeling of Christmas cards.
Every holiday season, Amy Goodnow remembers her dad by pulling out the cards she once wrote to him.
We were a big card sending family. I had it instilled in me from a very young age to write thank you notes for everything.
Now that she has a daughter of her own, every Christmas they've made it a tradition to send greeting cards to friends and family.
It says I love you, have a good week, thinking about you.
They're not alone. 1.2 billion cards are sent every holiday season.
Greeting cards actually date back hundreds of years. It was popularized under Queen Victoria during her reign in the 1830s.
Samantha Bradbeer is the keeper of the vault at Hallmark. Cards from every decade live in this temperature-controlled room. Fast forward to card making today, the process starts here.
Some unfriendly little Christmas mice nibbled their way through the stockings.
Nostalgia, we might say, let's write some cards based on nostalgia and being kids at Christmas and the wonder and the magic.
Kat Stano, Hallmark's senior writer, says sincerity is key and remembering that everyone's Christmas is different.
You want it to be honest, but it's just thinking about people's current life situations and what they're going through.
Writing cards of encouragement, thinking of you, and Merry Christmas. Each year producing 2,000 unique holiday greeting cards.
There's a lot of detail that goes into the kind of work that I like to do. There's always some memory that can come up and help me to kind of guide me into what kind of composition and what I want to communicate.
A classic American Christmas. That's what Jeff Greenleaf, one of Hallmark's most famous artists, creates with each card he paints.
I grew up in Massachusetts specifically. I love the winter. I love being out in it, and I love the holiday season. I just thought it was just a beautiful time of year.
His paintings begin with intricate sketches.
The way you can draw people in with a road or going home. I mean, there's a lot of emotion around that.
Jeff's art has been so well received, it became the inspiration behind Hallmark's Christmas movie, Evergreen.
Experience a magical movie inspired by Hallmark artist Jeff Greenleaf.
This is what Christmas is supposed to look like.
This holiday season, if you're looking for a gift that's a lasting memory, Amy suggests giving a handwritten card. It might be the best way to show someone you care.
Well, when you're out and about shopping, we would ask you to consider picking up an extra toy for the Six Shines On Toy Drive. This is the 19th year we've held the toy drive to help make Christmas brighter for kids in Central Indiana. We'll have our big collection event on Monument Circle on Thursday from 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. You can also drop off toys at the Carmel City Hall lobby while visiting the Chris Kindle Market and at the RTV6 studios during regular business hours. For more drop-off locations, click on the Six Shines On Toy Drive logo on the homepage at theindychannel.com. And here's a live look outside of exactly where we will be this week to be picking up those toys.
It will be dry, and any cash that we collect, just so you know, that's used very wisely. We have a chance to go shopping and really target different age groups, male and female, and really make that money stretch out. So thank you. Warming trend, it's underway. You may not step outside and say, whoa, it feels great, but at least we're headed into the 40s over the next couple of days. Also, a dry stretch, probably our next next chance of rain doesn't arrive until Sunday. If you're looking for sunshine, we'll keep looking for a little bit, but it does begin to show up late in the day, maybe tomorrow, and then Wednesday should be a day where we see more in the way of sunshine. It's all about snow in the Northeast. That has flight delays for the Mid-Atlantic. For us, nothing more than a snow flurry or two in the northern portion of the state. 34 Peru, 34 in Bedford. Doesn't really matter whether you're north, south, west, or east. We're all just above the freezing mark this evening. Temperatures slow to change because of the cloud cover. With that in place, temperatures will stay fairly steady. We'll eventually land in the upper 20s. That's the way we'll start your Tuesday. And it will be cloudy as well. I love this photo. Can you find the deer in here? I'll give you a second. Do you guys see it? My coworkers in the studio? Right in here. See how hard that is? How hard that is to find? Now I'll cover it up, and I know you can't see it. 39 the temperature tomorrow afternoon, with some sunshine peeking through late in the day.
The U.S. government says domestic terrorism is a persistent threat today. Terrorists are self-radicalizing right here in America. Alicia Nieves found out how cities are fighting back.
There are more than 40,000 members of jihadist groups in the Middle East who have been recruited and radicalized in 110 countries, including America. Since 2011, at least 114 Americans have been radicalized in the U.S. The government knows of 64 who have successfully joined a terror group.
It's been a significant problem, homegrown radicalization here in the District of Minnesota.
Minneapolis has the largest number of Americans who have been radicalized. Federal Court Chief Judge John Tuheim has dealt with dozens of them.
We have a large group of Somali immigrants here who are wonderful, productive members of our community, a very large group. But there have been some who it's difficult for them to shake the ties to the old country.
For perspective, there are more than 100,000 Somali Americans in Minneapolis, and less than 1% have been radicalized. But those who have are mostly young men, even teens.
What are some of the ways that people have been radicalized?
Well, I think the biggest culprit is probably the internet and very effective advertising, recruitment videos that were done by ISIS.
Last year, Judge Tuheim and other district court judges in the Twin Cities decided to come up with a way to combat radicalization here. His court created the country's first de-radicalization program for homegrown terrorists.
We spent some time looking around the world, and we examined programs in about 8 or 9 different countries.
The program in Minneapolis is modeled after a program that de-radicalized Nazis in Germany. It provides defendants with a shorter prison sentence in exchange for longer and more intense probation periods, along with required mental health care and counseling.
There's no guarantee, of course, but these people are going to get out of prison at some point in time, and you don't want them to come out of prison re-radicalized or even worse than when they went in, because that's a real public safety danger. So I think we'd like to work with them and see what we can do.
I think I hear you saying in your 20-plus years of experience that compassion here may be the cure.
Well, I think it is. It's certainly worth a try.
I'm Alicia Nieves.
Alicia, thank you. Well, a new study says universal background checks can deter teens from carrying guns. A team at the University of Indiana says about 6% of teens who responded to their survey carried a gun at some point. Now, out of those students, 83% were from states that didn't have universal background checks. The study says overall, the checks reduced the chance of students carrying guns by 25%. Well, next in our lineup, you likely aren't thinking about planning your family's spring break trip just yet, but you could get a deal on it tomorrow. We'll show you how to find the savings.